All right, welcome back for another episode of news in the crypto space. We're going to jump right in. We've got G-Rod sharing, replying to Coach JV. Hey, you're on point. What is this? Watch your guru. Just in, 1.3 trillion asset manager Morgan Stanley's E-Trade reportedly explores offering crypto trading, right? E-Trade. Don't know if that's true, but I mean, 1.3 trillion, it's okay, right? If they bring that in, but we're talking about then you would want to tokenize and get that stuff on board, or are they talking about literally just adding cryptos to their E-Trade app? And well, we saw this with Robinhood, which did really good. It brought in money from, again, the retail market. So this would just bring in more money for the retail market, from the retail market to the space, just more access. And that's still not too much money. We're looking for institutional money to come in, and that's what we really want. But let's continue. All right, let's see. Good morning, crypto. Breaking: Ripple XRP escrow connection to U.S. president. Crypto predictions for performing assets and Bitcoin breakout. That's just a conversation. If you want to check it out, you can go here to Good Morning Crypto. A lot of good posts come here where you can just follow and listen. We'll check out a few minutes of this, well, maybe a minute or two, see what's going on.
I feel unbelievably grateful for our community, unbelievably grateful for you. The sun goes down. Ripple, Aquarius, XRP, currency. We knew that when they initiated that case that there was something unnatural happening here. So it's the old dying off and the new coming in. And it's almost like, even if the message wasn't real or whatever it is, it's an essence of what's coming. There is a wave, a ripple effect coming, not only in financial, spiritual, religious, all kinds of sectors where authenticity is coming to light. And so what we saw with this in this message is Brad Garlinghouse and the Ripple team is saying, hey, authenticity is coming, guys. Like, the truth will set you free. And that's what's so exciting about this. So everybody who is watching this narrative, kind of step back for just a moment. And I've been telling people this in my own personal life, is step back and look at your own authenticity. Like, are you living in your truth? Because authenticity is the new currency. And I think that's just really cool to see that message this morning, even if it's FUD, if it's not true, but it is an essence of what's about to happen in January 20th. And I don't think people are ready to say, okay, wait a minute. You have I'm going to go on for a little bit real quick, but you have a dollar that gives you 3% purchasing power. You get paid every Friday in someone else's debt. This is super important. When you get paid on Friday, you get paid in someone else's debt. So when our companies pay us on Wednesday and Friday, we're being paid in debt. Our profit is sitting in debt. They're taking our profit, our 20% profit margin, and they're lending it out to the next person walking in. That doesn't make any sense. So we're going to start to transmute our profit, and we're going to take 10% and build a treasury, and we're going to put it into a deflationary asset. And then what we're going to do is we're going to borrow against that deflationary asset, and we're going to build a massive, massive portfolio of deflationary assets. And what's going to happen is that's going to be the new infrastructure.
So this will be a pretty long video, but again, this is Good Morning Crypto, and I do follow because I do, when I have time to sit there and listen, just to take all this in. So there's a lot of stuff you're going to hear here, but let me just jump on one thing for a second. At a company I was working for, and I'm going to share something they said at one of their meetings, well, one of their profit share events. And I don't know if most people know this, and if you do, that's cool, but if you don't, maybe this is new information, because to me, to a degree, I got a grasp of it, but I was like, I didn't understand how serious this was. So big companies operate literally on borrowed money 24/7. And I understood this from other companies I worked for, but like, I didn't understand, like, that's literally how business is done, period. So when you're a small business, you borrow money to get your business up and running. You don't really borrow money to run the business. You're borrowing money to get capital to set up a business. And that's from my understanding, because that's what I've done at times, right? You just want to get the business started, right? So you're taking loans to get everything up and running, and you're hoping that you're going to make the money to pay for everything to keep it going. That's crazy because that's not how it works. So that makes me failed idiot that didn't know. Businesses don't do that. And this is why, you look at the debt of the country and you look at how things go around and you look at how we can be in a bad spot because the businesses are borrowing from the banks all the time. They're taking these big loans so that they can pay for the stuff that they need to conduct business. They can pay for fuel for any vehicles they have on the road. They can pay their employees projected payments for their checks that they owe them for their hours throughout the month, 2 months, 3 months, however long they do it. They take these big loans and then they're paying these loans back, I guess, on their monthly bill, right? They're paying them back, and their loans could be, just who knows. But when I heard the big boss person at one of our profit share meetings say, we're still trusted by the banks through all this. They still trust our company. So we're still able to pay you all your paychecks to keep fuel in these vehicles. No problem, because the banks still trust us. I was like, whoa. So if the bank decides that your company doesn't pay them back as fast or trust you as well that you're going to pay them back, as a business, you can fail because they don't have to loan you the money. So then you break this down to the common retailer like us. We want to get a house. We want to get a car. We work for these companies. They say, oh, well, you work for a company. This company is projected to be XYZ. We trust that company. So yeah, sure, we'll give you a loan for this, that, and the other because this company's been doing well. So it's like, oh my God, everything runs on business. And you being just the retail side that goes to work, works a job, you don't understand how business works. And this is how I'm looking at it. I don't understand, right? Like, oh my God, I don't understand how business really works. It's nothing personal. Business is nothing personal. It's just business. This is what makes the thing go round. And so you can't look at companies on a personal level because they don't have the ability to be personal. They don't. You just got to understand. That's how big business is ran. Nothing personal. You're nobody but a little cog. A little cog is all you are. You help the wheel go round so that the business can do what it has to do to make money, and you get paid your portion, and that's it. So anyways, very interesting. Check out Good Morning Crypto so you can hear more conversations like these because they're pretty important. All right. Levi Crypto Crusaders, why XRP is going to $100 per coin, and 1,000 XRP would be huge, and it would. So let's hear a little bit. We ain't got time for 12 minutes, but we'll hear a little bit of what's going on here.
I mean, your progeny are going to hate you if you knew about this and you didn't buy it. I mean, they're just going to absolutely hate you, and they're going to think you're a legend if you sacrificed and didn't buy that expensive car and bought a whole coin instead, because that whole coin is going to be worth $10 million. Not that far out, by the way. I don't think anybody's missed the boat. I mean, I think we're still very much in the early days, and it's going to 10x, and that's going to 10x again. So from an investing point of view, you don't want to miss something that's going to go up 100x and maybe 1,000x if you talk 15-20 years out. And point one is going to be a meaningful amount to have. I mean, it's being a whole coiner is going to be an enormous deal in a few years. And so I don't think you missed the boat. It can come out of the blue. I mean, we all know how this thing happens. I mean, the thing that's so wild about this asset is the way that it can really move and move fast. And that's why I say, like the hedge funds that are short this stuff, they're about to have a deeply religious experience. I mean, they don't understand. They don't understand this can go up 50, 100, 150% in months. You're going to see those shorts are going to get covered so goddamn fast. I'm hard pressed to see how we're not at 100K by the end of calendar 2024. And I think this cycle takes us to 200 or 300K. I'm pretty angry about how I've seen my country go downhill. I mean, America was a great place post World War II. I mean, it really was. When I compare the America of my youth to the America of today, I'm just heartbroken. I mean, it's sad, what's happened. And frankly, I think fiat money is the cause of that.
Today we have an in-depth interview to go through with you guys with an amazing
We're not going to go through the whole thing, but you can see here, Levi Crypto Crusaders is going to have an interview, obviously, with that person. There's a lot that the person has to say, but right. interesting. So you're probably going to hear about XRP here. That's the headline, right? So I would say please check out Levi Crypto Crusaders, and check out this interview that he's going to have here. Well, let's jump around a little bit. Let's jump. Hold on one second.
Countries that have behaved the way the United States has behaved, I mean, we know this from Reinhardt and Rogoff's paper, have generally speaking ended up with debt crises, which either means that the debt becomes worthless, or that there is high inflation or hyperinflation. And so the debt becoming worthless is kind of an economic collapse where the debt cannot be repaid. And so it becomes worthless in a deflationary way.
So here, I'd just like to say, well, you heard what Trump said, right? Take a little Bitcoin, sell some of that off. And let me say this, if we get long-winded. The United States has been seizing Bitcoin for criminal activities for a long time. This is not a new story. Literally go back a few years and a lot of criminal activity, Bitcoin has been seized. And there was times where the United States government was auctioning off Bitcoin. I mean, I've been in this space for a while, and this is old news. I think I might got some videos posted from 21 or 22 where you're going to hear about this stuff. So the United States has access to a lot of Bitcoin, and I suspect, and I could be wrong, but I suspect Bitcoin might have been created here in the US. I suspect, and that would really be mind-blowing. But yeah, clearly the United States is in a spot where we're full of a lot of debt, but at the same token, I think there's more than meets the eye with what the United States has planned. So I'm not in fear mode with a lot of people. The United States is not stupid. They've never been stupid. I think they're making some strategic plays to put themselves in a position to get things straight. And I'm not condoning or anything. He's saying that there was a time XYZ, yada, da, da, da. I hear you. I'm just saying there's a lot of things that are probably going on behind the scenes that we're not even prepared to comprehend. But let's keep moving around, see what's going on here.
To collapse. And as bad as inflation is, it's viewed as a lesser evil than having the system collapse. And I mean, a perfect example is in 2008, Henry Paulson went to, Nancy Pelosi and said, you got to give us TARP or else the ATMs aren't going to work. I mean, this is the game that the Federal Reserve criminals always, and banks and criminals always use. I mean, look, in 1913, when they set up the Fed, they basically created a system of heads we win, tails you lose, because they get to gamble with the people's money and they get to take a ton of risk. And all these guys in 2008 made a ton of money. And then when they were wrong, they got bailed out. I mean, if it was capitalism, they all should have failed. Lloyd Blankfein used to be on Twitter holding forth on all kinds of subjects, and I used to reply to him and say, shut the fuck up. You should be bankrupt. The government bailed you out. And he got off at Twitter. I credit myself for doing that, because I love Twitter, because you can say, you can say what you want to these people, and they are criminals. I mean, it's a heads they win, tails we lose game. And 2008 was just an enormous crime. It was just an enormous crime. And
cryptocurrency, he jumped at the opportunity to get involved in it. Why? Because he realized it was a solution to all of these problems. If you have self-custody, these banks will never be able to abuse you again. And
that was a mouthful. If you self-custody, banks can't abuse, because they then need access. You just cut them out of the equation. Levi Crypto Crusaders, I think there's going to be a lot of stuff said inside that video there. Again, I'm not going to sit there and play it all. Please, Levi Crypto Crusaders, check it out there. Yeah, let's move along. All right, Mr. Man, SBI Holdings at Yoshitaka. Get down. Yo shit talker. Ooh, yo shit talker. This man finna talk shit. That is so. All right, let's keep it moving. I'm tripping. Don't pay me no mind. I just like to laugh every now and then. Forecasting Ripple's XRP will be very expensive. SBI Holdings market capitalization of 1.22 trillion. yen to flow on XRP's ledger in 2025, set to be big for XRP. And again, this is going back to what I've been saying throughout these videos, is that I think that is literally for the big institutions, enterprises, big business, banks, countries, and not for us, the simple retailer. But this does give us a little bit of empowerment to sell off to these, essentially selling off to the exchange, so that these big businesses and corporations can get their handfuls of it. Now, do I think we should be in a rush to sell off? Probably not, because these institutions are going to be buying up the bags that are out there. And I don't think they're going to get it from exchanges. I do not think institutions will be buying off exchanges. I do think that they'll probably go straight to Ripple. This is just what I'm thinking. And then Ripple will be selling to them directly from wallet to their wallet. You know, like they're sitting in a room. I'm going to transfer to you XYZ, and you transfer to me. I think that's the type of deals that'll happen, not exchanges. I think exchanges are for simple people like us, the retailers, maybe small businesses, mom and pops, but not institutions. Institutions, big business corporations, they're going to do things in a whole different format. They might even have, I do believe they do have another ledger. They have a private ledger that's for big businesses. Yeah, they do. They have a private ledger for big businesses. So all that stuff is going to happen on a whole nother ledger. Now the question would be, does it change how we see things on our side? Because I have not figured that out yet. Like, I have not figured that out. So I'm still up in the air with that one. Like, is the stuff on the secret ledger that we can't see, well, it's probably not. So could there actually be, like, for instance, there was a post that over in Korea or somewhere, XRP was valued at $50 some on their exchange because of what it was trading for, but it wasn't trading for that price here. So, and I'll say this without being too long-winded, you do understand that each country, each continent, each country has their own internet. And this is why you have to get a VPN to get access to the stuff that their internet carries, you know, so that you can have access to their stuff. So it is totally possible, based on that simple logic, that their exchanges are not our exchanges and they would have different prices. It just makes sense to me that way. So us seeing an actual real valued price for XRP at $50, $100, $200, I don't think that's going to happen until all the networks globally connect. And that means all information is globally connected and shared behind the scenes, globally connected. And then you'll see, because if you have a regulated price here in the United States, people say all the time, oh, in the United States, I think that they're, what's the word they use? They're manipulating the market. I don't think they're so much manipulating the market as we're on our market. Like, we could literally just be the US market and we only see what happens in the US. So if the big institutions in the US are not using cryptocurrency in the US, then we would not have that stuff visible to us because they're not using it here. But, and this is my thought process, I could be wrong, but if you think about what's happening over in said Korea or whatever, they say $50 some XRP, if that's what's happening in their market, on their network, on their internet, on their connections, we just wouldn't know about it, right? And I'll use this as a final example to help understand. For instance, in Ethiopia, they're on a 13-month calendar, okay? They're in a whole different year from us. But here in the United States, we're on a 12-month calendar and we're in a whole different year from them. All right. So just keep in mind, what you see in the United States is literally just the United States, in my personal opinion. This is just how I feel about it. Like, not how I feel. This is how I logically think about it. Okay. Like, we're like, imagine there's a bubble over top of the United States. Like, there's a bubble, right, under the dome, right? That's how I believe we exist. In the United States, we're our own weird weirdo bag of weird weirdums under this bubble of weird weirdamism, and we're locked under that, right? So I don't think we're going to see a $50, $20, $60, $100, $200 XRP until in our bubble, under our bubble, these things are happening with the institutions and the banks. So I'm waiting for our institutions and banks. Like, for instance, the ETF brought money in. Okay, the ETFs brought money in just a little bit, so we're waiting. So that's why I think 2025 is going to be a major year for the United States, because hey, they're saying, oh look, we're going to do this, right? Anyways, that's just my thoughts on that. But let's check out what is going on here and what the shit talker is about to say. I'm just talking smack. Shit talker, yo shit talker, yo shit talker. that's hilarious. Let's check this out. All right, I'm done.
何週間かで裁判所の結論が出ると彼は考えてるみたいです。結論が出て、リップルの XRP がコインだということになると、これは大変な値段になると思います。我々外部の筆頭株主ですから。
All right, so I'm gonna have to do this. Let me turn the volume down and do some reading, because I know if you're not watching the video and you're just listening, you didn't hear nothing. So I'm gonna read what's being transcribed as he's speaking, but I'm gonna turn the volume down and I'm just gonna read what is displayed, and hopefully what's displayed is correct. And he seems to think that the court decision will be made in a few weeks. Decision is made and Ripple's XRP is declared a coin. I think it will be very expensive, since we are the largest external shareholder. If we sell it, it will be realized through capital gains, and even if we don't sell it, it will be a considerable investment. I think that as soon as the conclusion is positive, and he seems to think that the court decision will be made in a few. Okay, all right, it's just recycled. All right, so the shit talker, you're mean, you're shit talker, Katow, Mr. Katow is saying that, and I don't know how old this video is. This could be anything, but I don't know. Yeah, once everything goes through, they're suggesting that XRP should be at a high value, and yeah, right. Well, duh, right? We think about everybody wanting to use it. It makes sense. But nothing special there. Levi again, XRP and HBAR are officially taking over the USA. Let's hear what he has to say about that, because I don't think that's far from the truth. Let's check it out.
XRP and HBAR are officially taking over the United States of America, and we got some excellent things to talk about in today's video. Listen, you guys need to start preparing now for 2025. It's going to be a massive year, and I'm going to keep saying it until all of you believe it, because there is so much happening right now that is going to spell out an amazing year, especially if we are continuing to be active in these ecosystems. And things have slowed down a little bit in the markets, don't get me wrong, but the general sentiment and the general investor confidence in cryptocurrency has gone nothing but up. And this is an incredibly good sign, because when the snowball starts, it starts to accumulate very fast at times like this. Now, first, I want to talk about prediction markets, because prediction markets have accurately predicted pretty much everything.
Maybe. I don't want to talk about prediction. I don't want to hear about that. Let's bump up some. And let's see what else he's going to talk about. Thing
on the state of the U.S. economy moving into next year. Listen very closely to this clip right now.
I think this is incredibly bullish for digital assets. It's very good for the crypto industry. We're going to see a lot more pro-Bitcoin policies. We're going to see a digital assets framework. We're going to see an end to the war on crypto. We're going to see a lot of pro-business policies. And I think that clearly the SEC will be a big part of it. So it's above my pay grade to have an opinion on who it's going to be. But I think it's pretty clear the House, the Senate, the White House, they're all very pro-crypto. So I expect that we'll have a very supportive head of the SEC.
100%, and an excellent point here, right? We already kind of know who the head of the SEC is going to be. Trump has pretty much already announced that. He is pro-cryptocurrency. That's not even up for discussion. And of course, Michael Saylor highlights here exactly why that's going to be such an amazing thing for the entire American economy.
Right, and this goes back to what I was just saying. Like, I think we're really waiting here in the United States for this to happen for our market, and I do think our market is our market alone. Like, I could be wrong, but it just I got this thought, like, I think literally the 3 trillion we're seeing is just the US market, and I have no way of even verifying that. I wish somebody does. If somebody has a way of verifying what each market capital is in each country, then that would help us in so many more ways. Like, for instance, if you collect CELO as a currency, but CELO's only major in Africa, then could your CELO be at an accurate price based on Africa's use case and what their price would be, or would yours be based on the United States? And it goes for any currency, right? Because you hear news about CELO being a big thing in Africa and some of these other currencies as well. But it's like you don't see that price shining through, and we can just use the same concept with XRP. Even back then when the United States said, no, we're not using this stuff, we're going to put them on trial, other countries kept using XRP. Do not be fooled. They were using it to transact money. They already knew it wasn't anything illegal about it, and they kept transacting in it. So we probably never saw for those 3-4 years what the actual 2-3 years, I think it was 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, what actually what's going on with the XRP, because we were locked. Nobody was transacting or using. Well, I was transacting. I would move money through XRP because it was just the fast stuff in XLM. But it wasn't major in the United States, so there was no traction or use here. So that's why the price was low on XRP, and it's set low for some time. Now you look at it, and this approved the point right here. This approved the point to what I'm thinking. I don't even need to. This proves it. Trump says, yeah, we're going to make XRP no taxes, right? That's what's going down. And then what did you see? XRP went from a 50-cent asset coin use case, 50 cent, 51 cent, to $2.60, $2.70, right? What? Right, think about this. So it set all those years bouncing around at 47 to 52, 54, whatever it bounced around to. Then a few words get mentioned, and here in the United States, you see a jump up over $2. That was the retail market. That was not businesses and institutions. I think what we're hearing talks of BlackRock bringing in $9 trillion. Now, when something like that happens, I think we're going to see a $50 XRP, $50 or $100. I'm suspecting $159 XRP. That number just keeps popping up in my head. And I think when we see these institutions bring their money into it, you're going to see that because it's US based. US. I do not think we're seeing what's happening in other countries as far as the price on these cryptocurrencies. And I could be wrong. But for some reason, I just like, we saw the price change in the United States. We don't see what the price is. Well, we did get a glimpse of what the price was in like Korea or something, like $50 something for their XRP. And it could be based on, let's do it this way. Man, we're going to uncover some stuff here. Let's do it this way. Let's say, and I think it's Korea. I could be wrong, but I think it's Korea. But let's just base on the idea. Let's say in Korea, in their markets, let's say the Asian, Japanese markets, or whatever it is over there. Let's just say all those markets combined. There is, let's say, I don't know, $8 trillion or $9 trillion or $10 trillion market cap. And let's say that's what their market cap is for crypto over there. Ours is $3 trillion over here, but theirs is $10 trillion. So in their market, they could see numbers that we don't see because their markets would literally just be their markets. Just think about that. Now, how much sense does that make? They're transacting. Let's say they have a total of, let's say in their $10 trillion market, right? Let's say they have, I don't know, 100 billion XRP in their market. I don't know. I'm just making up numbers. And let's say that is the amount in their market. That's just their market. And then you come to another country or another set of countries, and in their market, they have 100 billion, right? And then this set of markets over here in the US, they have, let's say, 100 billion. I don't know. You cut the numbers up and figure it out for yourself. It doesn't have to be 100 billion. I do not know. But let's just imagine you look at the total amount of XRP that is in existence, right? And each country has gotten their portion that operates within their markets. on their internet in their countries, right? And so their use is how many people are already using it there. If their companies are already, let's say 50 billion, or let's just say 50 billion. I don't know. Let's just throw that number. I'll say 50 billion is over there in the Korean, Japanese, Thailand. I don't know, all those places over there. Let's say that that's what it is, and that's all they got for XRP is 50 billion, and they're all using it. So that would be why they have a $50 and increasing XRP, because they're using what's in their market. And you come over here and you say, well, what's in our market? And you look at what's in our market and you say, okay, out of what's in our market, we're not using but XYZ of it. So this would probably be why the XRP price is low. And I could be wrong. I'm speculating, and you can make yourself out to be an ass, right? But I don't know. I haven't grasped it, but it's like it does make more sense if you think about it, like the markets are separate. Because again, the internets are separate. You have to have a VPN. Like, for instance, if you play video games, and I'm gonna stop with this as examples. Hopefully I'll stop because I get long-winded. So let's talk about video games. If you want to play video games like at Tencent or something like that over in across the seas, you have to have a phone number or a VPN to get you a phone number, or to get a coded number that allows you to be registered as something like somebody in their country, which allows you access to their internet and access to their games, movies, and TV shows. It's no different than when you get on Netflix. You're limited to the things that you can see on Netflix here in the United States because of your internet connection. But if you get a VPN that bounces you to another country, then you can see what that country has on their Netflix, and then you're watching different stuff. So based on that, I'm saying, based on that, why wouldn't the crypto markets be separate? Just think about that. I'm thinking about it, and it makes more sense that way. So that's why we're not, in my personal thoughts, we're not seeing these prices where they should be. But anyways, again, that's Levi Crypto Crusaders. Check him out. See more of that conversation there as he goes through more information. No different than what I'm doing, but you can get the spew there from him. All right, Jack the Rippler. Nearly all, or 80% of Japanese banks will fully adapt XRP in 2025. That all comes as top DeFi token on XRPL CTF token onboards Amazon and Walmart, right? So you're talking about that stuff right there. They also launch app where you can purchase products directly. This is massive and brings us to a massive supply shock. And if you can, I wouldn't imagine you would want to receive a payment in XRP knowing that the prices are volatile. But if you received it in a stable coin that runs it on XRP, it makes more sense. So that, I don't know. I kind of suspect that more businesses and banks and everybody else want their payments in that stable. Makes more sense. All right, so Levi Crypto has more. You only have 1 month before everything changes. And this, I don't even have to play that, because my personal opinion is, at December, when you go into January is bringing in a new year, and you heard what's coming down the pipeline. We're in that next cycle where everything's going to go up again. You've already seen it. You're not going to see XRP at 51 cents again. Those days are done and over with, because if it was going to fall, it would have fell already back down to 51 cents and lower. It didn't. We do have all the information and news that all, in the United States, you got more and more adoption of XRP. And I believe the reason why we're at a $2 XRP is not the retail market. I think there's some businesses, corporations, enterprises, maybe some ETFs, something else is behind the scenes. That's why it's still sitting above $2. It would not be the retail market, because the retail market moves in freaking whims. That's why, retail, don't expect it. If you're in retail sales with these, you better get rid of some of your stuff fast, because the way the wind blows, they go on social media, and the social media says, hey, go this way. They're like, woo, I'm going that way. And they'll sell everything off. But because we didn't see XRP drop back down to 51 cents, I don't think that's the retail market that has it at that price, which means that the businesses and everybody else, enterprises, banks, corporations, whatever, they're the ones that have that price above $2, which means that it's only going to go higher from here, because more and more money is going to come in for that. And again, like I said, the ETFs, I believe, is what got us to the prices we're at now with the crypto space, and it's going to continue to be the corporations, businesses, enterprises, institutions, big banks, so on and so forth, that's going to continue to grow the price. But all right, let's see. Jack the Rippler posts another one. The majority don't know that XRP has been successfully tested on the SWIFT network by over 11,000 banks. And again, this goes back to what I'm saying. Like it's majorly important that we understand that banks are going to be the one that takes this price up. Now, 11,000 banks. Could this be in other countries? Right, obviously. And this is why we hear about a $50-some XRP in like Korea or wherever it was, because in their networks or in their internet network or connections of their country, they have their amount and it's being used, and that's why they have that price. That makes more sense to me. But anyways, let's check this video out and see what's going on here.
SWIFT is the preeminent messaging system for the financial industry, which covers, say, payments, FX, trade, in terms of securities, etc., Nostra reconciliations, etc. What we're looking with the crypto, though, is where SWIFT would have a store and forward system for most of its payment transactions, where you need service level agreements that in a certain time I will do something, but payment turns up at a certain time during the day. Here we're looking at the new network styles, which allow instant, real-time movement of the funds and visibility of those funds as well. So we would not have a situation where banks need to come back to you and say, have my funds arrived? It's 3 days later. I need to find out or find query messages moving around the network. There's nothing like that. I don't believe Ripple is going to replace SWIFT. Ripple is one of the complementary networks, which is going to allow those institutions who need real time to make use of that. And I think we're also seeing that SWIFT are changing their network capability so that real time will be a possibility as well. But we may also see Ripple XRP moving across the SWIFT network as a currency when we're perhaps using something like FX.
Right. So clearly, no, SWIFT doesn't intend to go anywhere. I don't know if through SWIFT that's how those banks are getting their portion or their cut. I don't know. That'd be worth looking into, because you remember we just saw that those banks want their piece of the pie to transact internationally. So I don't know. But as far as SWIFT is going, right, and this looks like an old video, but as far as it goes to SWIFT did say by 2025 they wanted all these people ISO compliant. It was actually an earlier date before then. A lot of things happened. Like if you go back into my older videos, 2021, 2022, 2023, there was a lot of things that were happening. Like, I mean, a lot of things that are happening now. And this is an old video, so this could have been back from 22, 23, 21. I don't know. That's definitely an old video. But the point is, yes, SWIFT does interchange, and this could be that middleman, right? Well, obviously it's a middleman, but if you have, well, I mean, that's a middle. I don't know. That's really relying on countries and how they want to transact, because you remember this makes even more sense. Like if you think about each country having their own network of internet, right? And then, you know, there's a middleman in between that says, I'll verify everything else, and then they say, okay, we'll take this payment from this country and XRP, I'll leave it on XRP's network. Let's say there's a country, India or something, that uses a rupee or something. They do a rupee that runs on XRP, right? Because we're doing a dollar that runs on Ripple's network. So let's say over in India, like there's a rupee or something, and it runs on the not RLUSD, but let's say they have a rupee, a Ripple Labs rupee, right? RLRU. I'm just making stuff up. Let's say that that's what they have, and then they say, okay, we're going to send that over to the SWIFT network for the transaction. They're going to send that over as RLUSD to the United States. Think about that. You didn't have nothing to worry about. You sent it there, they sent it there, transactions complete. It took maybe a total of 6 seconds for all that stuff to happen, and they're probably going to have artificial intelligence taking that, because we just saw artificial intelligence, what they're going to do in the background. So let's just say artificial intelligence does this for country to country, nation to nation, and everything else, and all this stuff is running on a network. This is why I don't think, again, the Ripple's network is for the common retailer. I just don't think. I think we lucked out. We got access to it because we were watching what the banks were doing. We're like, we're going to follow what the banks do. We're going to, they put their money in, we're going to put our money in. And so that's the only reason. Anyways, look, I'm going to kill it there. A lot of stuff happening, a lot of stuff going on. But anyways, that's the news for the day. I'll catch you all in the next one.